shall we?
Now,
Sunday night, Michael. Welcome back. Slam Pigs podcast, number 69. Really? Really?
what?
All right. Well,
Come on.
Get over that.
You were
much.
thinking it.
Hey, man, welcome back. It's good to have you back. Just you and me this week. We have oodles and oodles stuff to talk about.
Ooh, I love noodles.
But hey, man, how was your week? Welcome back. And real quick, where can everyone check you out, what we do out, and everything out so I don't have to plug anything myself?
Check us out at the Habiki TMD on Twitter, on Facebook. Check me out at Mike the Slam Pig. As always, check out our sister show, The Reset Button. Also, check out Slam Pigs Cruise Control with that piece of shit Logan. Also, check out Slam Pigs Union Smack, quickly becoming our highest viewed episodes ever with our buddy Matt Tennant
With
from the
Maniac
UK.
Matt Tennant. And you know, usually, Michael,
it's a big spiel for me now. It used to be short and quick. Now I got all these shows to plug.
Well,
blowing up.
That's what we do, man. Usually, in the past, in the year or so we've done this, I would give you shit right off the bat for firing a Logan. I can't do that this week, and I'm not going to do it because, as if you guys checked out Cruise Control this week, when I do it with Logan,
which by the ratings you haven't because Logan's on it.
all right, let's draw a little line here.
Just saying.
I told Michael that I told you, Logan, you're going to have a receipt. I was going to play this for Michael. Michael, would you like to hear a little? This is how he kicked his intro in this week on Cruise Control. You ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
sure, it's fucking entertaining.
Let's all have a listen at what Logan had to say about Michael this week on Cruise Control.
Cruise Control without having to deal with a drunk of the Slam Pigs. Are you ready for this episode, Travis?
I am ready. But you're ready with the salt firing away. The salty fire from Logan off the bat. Obviously not directed at me because I rarely drink. Logan, real quick, where can everyone check? Well, you know all that, but there was more throughout the show, but that's the first clip I could find. if you would like to rebuttal, because it's only fair, and I'm sure, and of course it's entertaining as shit for me to sit and watch it. Go ahead before we kick it off, because we got a ton of stuff to talk about this week, Michael.
He called me a drunk.
Well, no talent, drunk.
I mean,
blah blah. It's the gist.
I mean, hello, pot. This is kettle. You're black. I mean, I know you're barely old enough to drink, and you probably aren't allowed to have much because you probably go into a diabetic coma or something. But you know, it's fine. You can call me whatever you want, Logan. The viewers speak for themselves, buddy. I mean, nobody wants to listen to you. I don't know why you keep speaking. I mean, I didn't even bother with your brother. Like, is his brother as disgusting as Logan is? Because when I see Logan's face, when I see his profile picture, it makes me want to puke. Not gonna lie to you, it looks so disgusting. It looks like he looks like the poster child for morbid obesity, and it's disgusting. Like, honestly, go do some cardio or something. Jesus, get on an elliptical machine. Fucking do something, for Christ's sake. I mean, if you're going to come out with the obvious fucking insults like me being a drunk, I'm coming back with the obvious insult of you being a disgusting, morbidly obese fat ass. I mean, honestly. Like, are you collecting disability? I mean, I know you probably still live with your parents, but I mean, are you collecting disability because
And time. I hit the time on the debate. That's what you get this week. I'm sure I will play this for Logan on Cruise Control this week, have no fear. And it'll kind of be like a little game every week.
honestly,
For me, because I get to pull
is
the
his brother
strings.
as disgusting as he is?
No, I'm not in this. Don't bring me in
Is
this.
his brother obese?
It's funny that you bring up people butting in and saying generic things that are fucking obvious, because right before we went on air tonight, I put out a link for what you guys are checking out. And by the way, thank you guys in the chat for stopping by. We are live. Follow me on Twitter at the TMD. Check out the reset button, all that good stuff like Michael said. But tonight, some random guy jumped in on just, you guys see how we post every week on Facebook, Twitter. Oh, wrestling. I liked that when I was 10 or something. Or I remember when I was 10. Like, okay, whatever. I let the shit slide. Come on. Like, whatever.
I'm sure he works real hard construction or something. He's out there with his lunch pail and he watches fucking Gold Rush or some other fucking fun show that he likes.
I just want to shout out our boy MTL Broski, our boy Tonka Soul at Grapple Vision. All the typical pallies. You guys didn't let that sit. You guys got our backs and we got your backs. And I want to thank that random guy because, honestly, he's not worth remembering his name, in my opinion. But
did he fire Logan up?
He had me fired up. Okay. I kept my cool, though, Michael. You would have been proud. Sometimes that's why I'm glad you don't use Twitter, because you wouldn't have done
I use it, just a lot going on lately. Haven't been able to get on it much.
But I want to thank him because, obviously, that got us way more play than we would have. So thanks for the promotion.
It's, free advertisement. Thank you, sir. Now everybody on your page has now been introduced to our show, so thank you.
We've both had a week. We have had our IRL in real life weeks. Mine's some legal stuff. Everything's good, but I don't want to talk about mine. You, on the other hand, have kind of like a Haku type story, like one of the back of the days, Stan Hansen getting in a bar fight. You actually were the DD.
Yes.
To put up my quick synopsis on it.
I was the only sober one out of the group.
For all the brawling going on, you weren't in it.
No.
So, Michael, go ahead. What happened to you this week?
Shit happens when you're taking your drunk significant other home with her brother, and his significant other in the car in the back. You go to get some gas and maybe a late night snack at a local little gas station, and people are drunk and running their mouths, and people from my group ran their mouths back. I actually didn't say a word the whole time. I was like the silent fucking killer of the whole bunch. And nobody fucked with me during this whole brawl. Like, I was standing pretty much in the middle. There was two piles. There was one on my right, one on my left. And I was standing right in the middle. Like, and nobody made an attempt until the very end of the brawl to even come up and approach me at all to throw a punch. And it was one punch thrown by a guy, and I kind of looked back at him like he was silly because he came nowhere close to hitting me. It was ridiculous. And I just gave him a look, and then he quickly backed away and went to his car. But needless to say, my girlfriend.
Yeah, I wasn't there, guys.
My girlfriend and her brother, did some tag team fighting. It was like a fucking handicap match, but the people who were at the disadvantage on the handicap won.
Did it
three guys against one guy and a girl, and they lost.
Did it resemble the Bash at the Beach '96 street fight with surfboards with Public Enemy and the Nasty Boys?
No.
Damn
it did not. It was actually probably about 60 seconds worth of actual fighting.
So real life.
It was a punch got thrown, and another retaliation punch got thrown, and the original puncher got pretty much knocked out. and then his buddy got knocked out.
Hashtag original puncher.
And then my girlfriend about knocked out a dude my size.
Could that be kind of a badass ring name, the original puncher? Like,
Maybe.
if you get the right announcer to say that name.
But I was pretty much just standing there through the whole thing, and my girlfriend afterwards was kind of like, Michael, what were you doing? I was like, babe, I'm the sober one. We have to go get our fucking child. Like, did you think about that at all during this? And she was like, I know, we were drunk, and I was like, yeah. What I felt like my stepfather was giving everybody a lecture on the ride home. It was pretty much me being the cool head, which hardly ever happens. So, but
hey, with age comes.
I'm glad I wasn't drinking because I can guarantee you I would have been right in the middle of that son of a bitch, and I'd have probably wouldn't have been able to do the show this week because I'd be in jail. So
maybe you could use your one phone call to do the show. You did it from your car last week.
Yeah.
By the way, thanks. We talk about this. Fastest viewed video ever we've ever done. Thank you guys so much for the feedback on the Extreme Rules post show. Michael live from his car. All good stuff. 5-man booth. Biggest show ever we ever did. Speaking of weeks, this is the thing I mentioned to you that I didn't want to tell you to on the air. Everybody in the know saw it on Twitter this week. So let's just go talk about it. Everyone has been dying to get this on the air for your reaction to it. It's going to sound like I'm lying, but this happened. I had the tweets to validate it. All right, so I was just tweeting away with Matt Tennant, some random booking stuff, bitching about Bailey sometimes. You know how you do on Twitter. And you know how I get. I get a little too jokey sometimes. And I made the tweet, and I quoted specifically what I tweeted. Bailey's dad, I want to push over Izzy's dad. You know, the little girl who's like the Bailey super, you know, her parents that I was with? He's always decked out in Finn Balor merchandise.
Yeah.
I said, I want to push over Izzy's dad. He annoys me. He's always like, oh my God, Finn Balor's the greatest wrestler ever. He's always like that Jack. You know what I'm talking about? When they always show him. He's fucking annoying. Because we were talking about, you know, just joking about Izzy or whatever. Now, for those that don't know how Twitter works, Michael, you know how Twitter works. In order to see your name tagged in something, like specifically, you have to use their handle or hashtag something.
Yeah.
The only way to see yourself is if you sit around and you search your name, you vanity search. Some lady popped in. I've never seen her with dyed red hair, young lady, I figure about our age. Out of nowhere said, I hope that makes you feel proud about yourself. You're sick or something. Just for that comment I made. I wasn't talking about hurting the little girl, whatever. So like in point in case the tweet today, I let that shit slide. Whatever. I don't fire back because if I give them bait, they're going to catch the fish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you just, whatever. I let it go. I didn't even think. I got off Twitter. I went to edit the video or something. I think the Mega Man video that I was doing this week. A couple hours later, I get on and see my message and stuff. Somebody randomly I didn't know puts in my notifications, you know that's Izzy's mom, right? The little girl's mom. I had no fucking clue. It was, in fact, her mom.
Oh.
And she didn't stop. She continued. She went off of Maniac Matt, who has blocked her, by the way. I did block her for a little bit because she wasn't getting the message that if you keep at me and I'm like, I'm not interested, I'm going to block you. Because at that point, it's kind of harassment, but I'm just not interested. It doesn't affect me. It's a waste of time. I did it, but I come to find out she like screenshotted the image of my account blocking her and like put us on blast. Calling us like, she never called us like small time, but she was always like referring to me condescending as Mr. Big Shot. Go play your video games while you live with mommy. Little does she know, I'm 33 fucking years old. I'm probably older than her. I have 3 kids, not just one, that I'm exploiting all over the country. Not to wax intellectual on my daughter's health stuff, but she went through a lot of stuff, Michael.
Yeah.
Never once have I ever pandered to get anything free from the shit she went through. And the little girl, Izzy, whatever, that's great. Take your kid around to all the countries. Before I knew it was her mom, though, I just thought it was some girl, so I kept making comments like, oh, they're plants. They're WWE plants. They pay for them to go around. They found them at one show, and then they caught on, and now they get free merch and stuff, which is true. They get free merch and stuff. Don't kid yourselves. But our buddy Grapple Vision again jumped in and had her backs and stuff. It got heated. But
my question is, what's she so offended with here when you weren't even talking about the little girl? You were talking about her husband.
Well, because she did make the comment in the tweets like, well, I'm not going to let her talk. And in her defense, I could see how my tweet could be kind of taken. I might be upset about that. But in all seriousness, it was a typical. It's not like I would ever see him and be like, oh, I got to push him down now because I said it. It was I was fucking around with my friends. And I understand freedom of speech. You can butt in my tweets anytime you want, guys. It's no fucking thing. But the fact that she had to find that means that she is not only taking the 15 minutes of her daughter's fame, that she's exploited, in my opinion, to get free merch because her and her husband are fans. That's why they get the trap. I even made the comment, how can they afford to make all these shows if they're not getting comped? And she, of course, had a sarcastic reply. Of course, she dodged it. It's not like I wanted her answering, but she was like, well, millions of dollars. You're just jealous that we can go to all these shows. I got news for you, lady. No part of me is jealous that I missed This Is Your Life, Bailey, last week. So if you were there, I hope you got every fucking penny's worth of what you paid for. I would rather raise my daughter in our hometown than drag her ass around the world like she's on the fucking roster from hotel to hotel, and that's her memories. You're a fucking exploiter. Yes, I went out and apologized on Twitter, but we're not on Twitter right now. We're on Slam Pigs podcast.
Somebody's a little fired up over here.
I do want to say, before I let you say whatever
I don't think I've ever seen you this heated.
This is...
I
told you I was saving this shit.
I like it.
I ain't done.
Good. Keep going.
On your behalf, on Tannen's behalf, Logan, Maniac Matt, I gracefully apologize because I realize anything we say on social media affects us as a whole. So, if all apologies, but I didn't start shit. I just want to say, so you came at me with the salt, and I'll come at you with the fucking pepper. I'll say exactly what the fuck you are. People like you make me sick. Our good buddy Vamp Candy from the Grapple Vision channel said it best. Hashtag wrestling pageant mom. Fuck you. Suck our dicks. Have a nice day. Michael. And I can't wait to talk about some actual fucking wrestling at some point because Joe and Brock, Jesus, I'm hyped. Go ahead.
I mean, I feel like you just took my whole rant away, but that's fine. You know, mine was pretty much going to be the same thing. Like, who the fuck are you? Honestly, how the hell did you even know that we said anything? Obviously, you're so vain. You're like worse than a narcissist, Lex Luger. Honestly, do you sit there at night on the computer and just look for anybody that might be talking about you? Honestly, do you have that much free time? And if you're offended, here's a quick little piece of advice. Don't fucking listen. No, I'm pretty sure we don't have a chain to anybody's fucking ear making them listen to our show. If you don't like it, fucking don't listen to it. Okay? We're not here to appeal to everyone. We know we're always probably going to say something that's going to offend someone. That's what makes this show fun. And I think that's what makes our viewers listen. I think they like to hear us talk from the hip, saying our true opinions about things that bug us.
We don't bullshit you guys.
And it was just a joke anyway. Like, if you can't take a joke, you're on television, okay? You think somebody's not going to make fun of you? You should take it as a compliment that we're even talking about you.
Exactly.
Because honestly, what do you really have to do with wrestling? Honestly, you have nothing to do with it. You're basically riding your daughter's coattails to get on television. So what does that make you? Honestly, it's really sad that someone like this could really talk down to anybody for how they live their lives when, like you said, you spend your time probably collecting welfare or whatever you like to do, and going from show to show, probably comped, like you said.
Oh, I think our buddy Tonka at Grapple Vision said it best. He made the tweet to her specifically, like, when she made the quote, millions of dollars or whatever, you can't be jealous of our money. He was like, you can't pay us in free merch, so fuck you. Like, hey, that's just like the guy today. Like, literally, we don't care. Fire your salt.
Trust me.
Have you not seen the name of our fucking podcast? Say it to yourselves out loud. Slam Pigs Podcast. Do you think we're white knights? Do you think we're fucking nice guys? Because just because I'm a host doesn't mean I'm a nice guy. I just got to keep this motherfucker professional sometimes. That's my only real duty. I'm pulling back.
Well,
but if you fucking rattle my goddamn chain, just be prepared. But you know, like I said, I apologize. I was over it. She continued. This obviously doesn't seem like I'm over it, but realize, guys, I've been holding this in a week to tell Michael. So that's what was been building up. So there it is.
I liked it.
I'm sorry I stole your thunder.
Got me a little fired up. I liked it.
I'm sorry I stole your thunder.
But and I agree with you. I do apologize to the woman if she was offended. Obviously, it wasn't meant to get back to her, probably, because we didn't. I'm pretty sure you didn't tag her in it.
If I did, I wanted to, I would have. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think that much of you. And by the way, another announcement: we hit over 2,000 followers this week on Twitter.
Woo!
She's under 2,000. So fuck you. I know it's part of the. I don't care about Twitter stats. Everyone thinks I do. I think it's awesome. Like, I'll say congratulations, but it doesn't make or break my day. I'm sure she counts every fucking number. You know what I mean? Like, just one by one.
I don't even know her husband's name, but she probably yells at, but whatever your name is, get over here, we got another follower.
Hold on, Finn Balor's on TV. Oh my God, he's the fucking greatest ever. Wait a second. Anyway, and quite honestly, that is enough attention for those guys. But the dedicated listeners, our boys, our legit fans who listen every week, we really do love you guys, and thank you so much. And I've had attack videos made on me. Michael has gone to war with people on Twitter. What the result is at the end of the day, we're always going to be here doing this every week, whether you like it or not. We love this. We love doing this.
The funny thing is, we don't change, and the people that hate us keep listening. So
yeah,
whether you like us, hate us, thanks for listening.
Every hate comment you make, every reply you make on my Twitter, it's just fucking getting us noticed. Like, so thanks.
Free advertisement, appreciate it.
Let's tighten the screws.
Can we get into some wrestling?
Let's to bring it down a notch. I do actually want to talk about two serious issues as far as the news this week. The first one, Smith Hart, one of the obviously the Hart sons, was admitted to hospice care.
The oldest, I believe.
The oldest was admitted to hospice care this week. And if you guys know anything about hospice, unfortunately, it's kind of like the launch pad to heaven.
Yes,
as everyone
says. It is the last stop.
I mean, and also condolences to the family. Adam West, true legend that passed away this week at 88.
First Batman? Second Batman.
I believe second.
Yeah, second.
Maybe I mixed up with the original Superman from the 30s. I think the first Batman.
Pretty sure he's
But regardless, the best Batman in my opinion. Dead at 88, and I'm glad people really didn't say it was a tragedy. Like, he was 88, and kind of like Smith Hart. Yeah, it's sad, and he's passed, but he's lived a full life. So
he's in his 70s, I bet.
I would say older. He looks. I have to fact check his age, guys. If you want to shoot in comments below, if you know. But yeah, condolences to the Smith Hart family.
Yes. Our prayers and best wishes go out to the Hart family, all of you.
We're not saying hospice is the end. Like, anything's possible.
But it's basically where they keep you comfortable. I've gone through it before with some relatives from my father's side of the family. It's not pleasant, so I know what it's like to see someone you love in that state. My best wishes go to anyone who's ever had to deal with that, especially the Hart family right now.
So yeah, Smith Hart, condolences or whatever.
Also,
unfortunately, real quick on Smith Hart, the last thing he really did that was in the news or whatever was when he was trashing Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. So he kind of went out on I don't want to say bad note, but he did come off as really bitter at the end. I hope that maybe he may have patched it up behind the scenes. We don't know about the Rollins, but anyway.
It's just an opinion, honestly. I don't see why it should make anyone look bad. We all have our opinions on talent, so I hope it really didn't do anything to demean his life and his accomplishments. Because from what I've read, he was a very well accomplished man, a good family man, and a good brother. So.
And and also the other sad thing, I actually just showed me the footage.
Yes, Mark Andrews,
one of my favorite guys, and god damn it, neck injury.
A real rising star from the UK, that was just signed earlier this year to WWE, formerly from TNA. If you were a TNA fan, as Mandrews, a real creative name, but he was in. They were doing a live event. I believe it was an NXT live event. He was on. It was a 4-on-4 tag. He was tagging with Roderick Strong, Aleister Black, and
Cassius Ohno?
No.
No Way Jose? One of those?
I can't remember who the other one was. Drew McIntyre.
Okay.
He was tagging with those three guys against the Authors of Pain, Bobby Roode, and the United Kingdom champion.
Pete Dunne.
Yes.
The Bruiserweight.
And unfortunately, he was in there with one of the Authors of Pain, and he took a clothesline that he was trying to sell with a backflip, and unfortunately landed on his head.
He took a clothesline. You guys know the spot if you can pick one. I don't know if you've seen the footage.
The video's on the internet.
Yeah, landed right on his head.
Landed right on his head. Obviously, there's a neck injury. He had to be taken off on a stretcher for precautionary measures. We have no information on how long he's going to be out, but as soon as we get that, we will give it to you. Obviously, our best wishes go to Mark Andrews and his family. Hopefully, this is not a permanent issue. Hopefully, he will get well soon and be back in the ring, because he is I've seen him before in TNA. I think he's a well-regarded talent, and he's a good
high flyer. But he, like you said, he is well-rounded. He does have ground game. Hopefully, we don't know the specifics, but it's not out too long, because he was one of the brighter stars, I would say, that came out of that.
Yes. Get well soon.
Yeah. Other than that, we caught a little bit of NXT this week. My match of the week was not on the main roster. It was Oni Lorcan, your cousin, and Hideo Itami. Holy shit! Like,
talk about physical.
They definitely all this
almost looked like a work shoot.
That's all this was probably an agent backstage telling them to have like a Japan style, strong style match.
Had William Regal all over it.
This is literally every match in Japan nowadays. but it was surprising considering that how skeptical they are on their concussions, and Tommy
Yeah.
just came back from injury. But these guys were not giving an inch, and
Yeah.
holy
Only
shit.
Lorcan's always been more of a smash mouth style wrestler especially for his size. Not a big guy, but man, does he he reminds me of a smaller Cesaro. Obviously,
I can see
I
that.
mean,
His uppercuts are just as good.
his style is very similar to Cesaro, and his work just looks so real.
I think he's going to break through this year. I think he's going to get himself over with something, and I think this may have been one of the matches that are going to help elevate him in the end.
You've seen him in with all the top talent on NXT.
Well, he's known all these guys for years. Biff Busick and Evolve, right? So he's worked Tony Nese. He knows all these fucking guys. So he's definitely seasoned. He's under the radar right now because like they have nothing for
He's
him.
one of those hidden jewels, hidden gems that you have down there that maybe they still don't know what to do with. He needs a gimmick, I guess. But he does. He looks like a kind of a mini
Cesaro's
Cesaro.
little brother
Yeah,
or something.
kind of. I mean, I could see him and Cesaro in some sort of angle where they're a team because their styles just mesh
I could see that.
perfectly because they're both so physical.
God knows they're always going to put Cesaro in a team.
Well, that's what makes
always.
Well, Cesaro has always. That's what keeps him relevant. I think is his in-ring style. His in-ring style is so realistic.
Mhm.
He does certain things that you're like, holy shit. He makes your wrestling look real. You know what I mean? And it makes sense. Like, holy shit, he really stiffed that dude.
A couple other tidbits from NXT, and we'll get to the main stuff, Michael. It looks like it's going to be Roddy Strong and Bobby Roode for the title now. Cut a promo on each other this week. It looks like that's where they're headed. Which is fine by me. I've liked the vignettes a lot. I don't really like Roderick Strong's promos. I never did in Ring of Honor. I don't think that's his strong suit. Unfortunately, if he could cut promos like Angle used to, money. But I think he's still going to get over.
Plus the size issue.
I think a lot of people have rose-colored glasses on with Roderick Strong. It's going to maybe be more of an Apollo Crews thing. Maybe not that bad when he gets up to the main roster, but I don't know.
He definitely doesn't scream main roster stardom to me.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the big problem with the microphone. Also, the lack of size. It's not just his weight; it's his height.
Yeah.
He's not.
Well, it's pretty standard now. I was also going to say, to his credit, we're not exactly in the era of good promos, so does it really hurt him that much?
But
it's
for someone so experienced in the business, you should be able to take what's written for you and take it somewhere. It's not like they make you say your promo word for word. So at some point he's going to have to get it a little bit if he's going to go to the main roster. I think right now he's in the main event because of his track record on the Indies.
Yeah.
And he's somebody that they know they can put out there and have a good match.
He's a hoss. He can go with anybody.
Yes.
You know.
Which I'm not, and I don't want people to. I mean, you can come at me if you want. I don't give a fuck. But
he really doesn't.
I really don't. But it's nothing against him for his in-ring work because I think we would all agree that his in-ring work is good. But he's never going to get over that threshold until he can do something on a microphone that's entertaining.
Now, on the flip-flop, the complete opposite of that, I'm making a bold prediction on myself. And a year from now, we'll see if I was right. By this time next year, Bobby Roode will have made his debut, and it's been about a month after Mania. He's going to be in either Universal title or WWE title picture because his promo, once again, they continue to be consistently good.
That's always been his track record.
It's fucking awesome, and I love how they're shooting him back when they're not just shooting him backstage. They'll shoot him in a limo, or they'll shoot him like in a classy, like upscale part of the arena. They're doing it right. They need to continue this. Don't Alberto Del Rio it, where at very first when they first brought Del Rio, it was all right. It's gonna be Latin $1 Million Man. This could be all right. Shit the bed. I think Bobby Roode's a totally different case. This is gonna be one of their money guys in the next couple of years. This is gonna be one of their go-to. He's going to be in maybe this era is Triple H from like 2000.
I want to go on a little rant about the Bobby Roode haters, by the way, because obviously I'm a Bobby Roode fan.
Oh, his in-ring work? He can't keep up with Strong style?
He's boring.
Hey, you guys!
He's boring. No, he's methodical. Every move he does has a purpose. He's not the indie-style wrestler that does things just for the sake of doing things.
Storyteller.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
That's my biggest issue with people.
Go back and watch his match with the Tommy that we thought was not going to... It was fucking good. He had chemistry with Nakamura, who's not exactly knocking out of the park right now on the main roster.
I don't think so.
His last good match was with Bobby fucking Roode.
Well, I mean, he had a good match with Owens, but Who doesn't?
Yeah. It was
It's-
also the stage him and Rude was
Yes.
on too. Had a lot to do with it.
But it's my thing with all you haters out there on Bobby Roode's in-ring work. He is a methodical, meticulous worker. He is a ground specialist that likes to work on a body part and will continue working on that same body part throughout the entire match. And whether you guys find it entertaining or exciting, I'm sorry he doesn't do dives to the outside. He doesn't do 450 splashes or any of that other crap where they do handsprings and little slides and all that stuff where it looks like a fucking dance. He's a wrestler. He is a professional wrestler. He tells a story. He tells a consistent story. If he's going to pick on a weakness on a guy, he's going to pick on that same weakness throughout the whole match. Guess what? He's not going to start working on the guy's leg just to go work on his neck later. If he's working on the guy's leg, he's going to work on the fucking leg the whole match like you're supposed to. It's called psychology. It's called fucking storytelling.
And if he has a hurt leg, he's not going to go to the top rope.
No.
But if you disagree, we respect your opinion.
And if you have a hurt, he's not Dean Ambrose. If he has a hurt leg, he's not going to give somebody a fucking figure four. Jesus Christ.
Well, we covered that last week, and man, Ambrose was on the show, Monday Night Raw. I'm going to say it off the bat, Raw was actually better than SmackDown this week.
Yeah.
Michael?
Yes.
My opinion. But before we get, I guess it's time to pull that trigger.
Well, I mean, they're fresh off of their pay-per-view. Obviously, a little bit of new storylines involved. So
changing in the guard.
So you're a little excited to see it, first of all, to see what they're going to do with it. And as predicted by myself and obviously the rest of the panel on the post show, they booked Mr. Samoa Joe very strong.
One of us on the 5-man booth last week predicted him to choke out Heyman. I want to say it was Brandon who predicted that would happen. So
my biggest issue is how they started the show. You started the show with Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. Why?
I will say that was a good match.
It was a good match, but what sense did it make? Did they have some long-standing feud that I didn't know about?
But on the other hand, you're going to have people say, well, they started with another 20-minute promo this week, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, it should be promoting your number one contender. That's how the show should have started.
I think, of course, it was
I feel like the Heyman and Samoa Joe thing should have started the show. It would have made more sense to me.
Let's do it official. It's time for this week's Raw Review. Hand pump.
Let's wait for it.
Monday Night Raw this week. Michael.
Live, baby, live.
It was, in fact, live. It's always live.
Just like we are.
Yes, Monday Night Raw this week kicked off, like you said, with Bray Wyatt. In-ring promo. Typical standard Bray Wyatt promo. Nothing
good
spectacular.
Stuff.
But good stuff.
A little out there, as usual, but good stuff.
Interrupted by Reigns, who I didn't think did great, but I didn't think he did bad. Just kind of did his thing. Say whatever you want. The crowd was invested. The crowd was into it. I've seen way worse this year. Didn't hate the match. One of the better matches. I think this match is probably better than like that match they had on pay-per-view a couple years ago. Like a year or so ago. I don't know.
But that says a lot for both guys.
How they've matured.
I think they've both come a long way in the ring.
I totally agree. Especially with the Reigns.
Yes. I think quietly Roman Reigns is having one of the better stretches of matches in a long time, because I know we've always been critical of Roman on the microphone, but one thing I can say is in the ring, this guy is he's really starting to come up on his ability to put on a good match with almost anybody.
Well, we've always defended Roman's in ring.
So I mean, especially for his size, I know he's not the hugest guy in the world, but he ain't tiny either. The guy can move, and you don't see many botches with him, to be honest with you. There's not a whole lot to pick at in the ring. So, I mean, what else can you do than give him his props? Same with Bray Wyatt over the past couple years. Bray Wyatt has come a long way in the ring. I still think he has some work to do on his storytelling a little bit. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, for his size, he's pretty crisp in the ring. That's a good word for me tonight. I just threw right at crisp.
Go with call crispy.
Crispy.
Sister Act 2 in the house. A couple other things happened on the show. A good segment, in my opinion. The Miz Intercontinental Title Celebration. Well, at first, you had Elias Sampson before any of this happened. Let's say this reminded me of the Rock concerts in 2003 if they would have sucked. Yeah. Because those were really good. This sucked. This fucking sucked. I know Logan is a big fan of the Drifter.
Well, he's giving little hints on who might be the attackers for Enzo as well. I don't know
But
what
see,
this
the
has
thing
to
is,
do with him.
you have to care about that storyline
Yeah.
too.
Which I mean,
don't.
I was invested until the pay per view when they did nothing with it. Like there was no mention of that at all.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, well, okay, so this is how much you put all this time and effort into it on Raw, and then the pay per view comes, and there's no.
Maybe that's so they have something to keep you watching Raw, though.
It just, I don't know, it bothered me a little bit.
But Elias Sampson did it totally like the Rock used to, the spotlight and all with the acoustic guitar.
Yes.
Sang a horribly off-key song. I don't know. It's probably meant to be on purpose.
Well, that's why he does it.
Corey Graves, phenomenal at bearing how bad the performance was, by the way. Interrupted by Dean Ambrose, who did not look happy from losing his title the night before. Just comes out and attacks Elias Sampson. Calls out the Miz and wants his rematch. All of a sudden, Miz appears on the Titantron with Maurice. Good little Miz promo. Can't complain about it. From behind, though, Elias Sampson gets his fucking heat back.
Yes.
When does that ever? I ever thought I'd say that line in my life. Attacks him from behind, lays him out. What'd you think of the segment?
I liked it. I do like Elias Sampson. I like how they're using him. He's at first I felt like he was going to get over as a babyface because of the way it was portrayed.
The silliness.
Yes. Now it's less jokey. It's more obnoxious to the point where you're annoyed, and that's how he should be used. Because Elias Sampson is not a babyface. I'm sorry, he's not.
Looks like Sandow, exactly.
Yeah, and he's not, and he shouldn't be used as a comedic gimmick because I think the guy can actually work. I think he has more to offer than just comedy relief.
I agree.
So I like what they're doing here, putting him in a mid-card feud with a former champion. I think.
Well, I don't know if they're putting him in a feud, or it's something to do right now.
Well, I think that's going to be down the line. You'll see him feuding with Ambrose. I think he's going to have something to do with that title match next week on Raw, and which is going to lead to a feud with Ambrose.
Yeah.
It gives Samson somebody to springboard off, and it gives Ambrose something to.
Storyline consistent.
No matter who wins in the feud, it helps Samson especially, and it also helps Ambrose and the Miz because the Miz will retain his title until it's time to go against Reigns at SummerSlam,
which has been alleged, predicted,
yes,
on the dirt sheets and whatnot. Let's go ahead and move on right in the show. Here's something a lot of people were talking about this week. A lot of husband. Like once again, I'm not invested. But I already mentioned it. As an Enzo this week cut a promo backstage with one of the new interviewers. I can't remember her name, but Enzo was hitting on her and blah, blah, blah. Well, Enzo wasn't paying attention after their typical promo. Cass walks off camera, and it looked like something weird happened. Like Enzo said so. We come back, and it's the Miz walking in the cut, and there's Big Cass laid out with a perfectly placed metal bar in the middle of his back. Perfectly placed. And he just so happened to be laying face down on these nice little red pads. I don't know. A lot of people saying it still could be Cass. I don't care. I don't fucking care.
The obvious choice would be the revival, like I said.
Because I'm so frustrated they're even considering breaking them up. That made me not care. You know what I mean? It irritated me. You poke the bear.
Because they have no storyline for them as far as feuding with actual wrestling talent that they do this. So, which if I was Enzo and Cass, I'd be frustrated by.
What did you think of this, Michael?
I didn't care for it. I mean, it added a little twist for all of us that were like, "Oh, it's Big Cass," but it still could be him. A lot of people are mentioning Corey Graves could be involved somehow.
Yeah.
But what would that do down the line? Corey Graves can't work.
Also, this could tie into the other stuff going on Raw. The weird text Kurt Angle's getting, calling Corey Graves off set in the middle of.
Yeah.
As far as that, I don't fucking know.
Last I checked, Corey Graves isn't cleared to wrestle, right?
No.
Okay.
But you probably have a better chance of seeing Daniel Bryan wrestle before you see Graves.
Yeah.
I would say. Because they,
I know Corey Graves. I remember him from NXT.
They thought highly enough of him, though, to give him, a 2-year announcing contract.
Yes. Because he had that much charisma as a wrestler. And
I got to say, in ring, did nothing for me.
But I really saw potential just with his look. His look and his charisma. I could see him on the main roster.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, ran into the injury bug.
I think in their eyes, he could have been their next Punk, and I hate to say that because they look so similar, but I'm thinking like they would, so I think that's how they saw him. But I have no fucking...
Plus, he's so blunt on a microphone, which obviously
and he cares. He's good. He's smooth, and he's quick like Bobby Heenan, and that's why people make the comparison. But I have no clue where this is going, Michael. What do you think?
I know the Corey Graves stuff with Kurt Angle is probably leading to a return for either Stephanie and or Triple H. I'm guessing that's where this is going to be headed. And at some point, that's just going to lead up to, the rumor has it, with Triple H and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania for control of Raw. But that's the rumor mill. That's the obvious choice.
Does anybody want to see that as his opponent is the question. Because I would like to see, because Joe and Kurt had a backstage stare down this week, and I got goosebumps
And
because
they have history in TNA.
you think?
Yeah.
But yeah, that gave me a little mark out moment, I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather see that than Triple H and Kurt.
I think it's a lot of Vince in the back because Kurt hasn't worked in the WWE for
Put
a
him
while.
out with my son. He's safe, damn it.
The trip put him with Hunter. Hunter needs something to do, and that's pretty much what you're gonna get probably.
Yeah.
Hopefully, obviously I don't have a problem with it because as long as it keeps Triple H out of the main event picture,
Part-time
I'm fine with it.
attraction.
So
that's fine.
And it's obviously going to be a special attraction match if it happens at WrestleMania.
And obviously Kurt's not who he used to be.
But I still think for a one-time thing,
he's definitely going to pull all the stops.
I could see him and Triple H putting on a hell of a match. So,
do you think they're afraid of that? Do you think they would literally force Kurt not to do like moonsaults in high risks like that for liability reasons or anything like that?
I don't think they could. You could tell somebody not to do something all you want, but it's them in the ring. Right. What are they going to do? Fire him afterwards? He still had the match.
True.
So all it's going to do is make yourself look bad. Like you fired the guy for putting on a great match.
Yeah.
Thanks. And that's always been Kurt Angle's track record, putting on great matches with anybody.
He's always in a top 10 for a reason.
Yes.
You know, like to wrap up the Miz stuff because they were all over the show. They sprinkled both these guys in. You had Ambrose, a clip of him sneaking back because Kurt Angle kicked him out. They had a backstage segment with Ambrose and Angle. Angle told him to go home for the night. He did. He was frustrated. I thought it was okay. And then it showed Ambrose after the Kurt Angle on the cell phone thing. I am beautifully segueing shit tonight, by the way. It's just flowing
doing a good job.
Like a lovely period on a woman's flowing.
Oh.
I don't know why. That's all.
Terrible analogy.
I fucked it all up.
Yeah.
Everything.
You took that great segue and you just took a big piss on it.
There's already blood on it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Now you're adding pee to the...
But then you saw Kurt Angle leave like a garage door and that was slowly closing. You saw a hand come in. Ambrose snuck back in. I liked it. I didn't hate it for an Ambrose segment. That led to maybe my favorite part of the show besides the Joe and Heyman thing. The Miz Intercontinental Celebration, Michael. Golden balloons and storyline set up by Maurice went to all this trouble. A guy in a bear costume that said congratulations. Now, obviously, what we all thought was the same thing. That was going to be Ambrose. And that's what they wanted us to think, and they got us. So it was the Miz making a great speech. There was, I think, a beautiful little video package for him.
Yes.
And Maurice just gloating. Of course, they're husband and wife. They have chemistry. But there were cases in wrestling where husbands and wives in real life had no chemistry. Like Jimmy Garvin and Precious had no chemistry. But when Jimmy Garvin was with Sunshine, it wasn't his wife. They had better chemistry than his actual wife.
His wife had no charisma.
Yeah. Thank God Maurice has charisma, and she's a very attractive young woman.
Maurice is also a former worker. So, do you think that leads me to quit? Do you see Maurice back in the ring at some point in the future?
I mean, she was just in the ring at Mania, but you mean as like in the part of the women's division?
Yes.
Possibly. Well, stranger things have happened. But speaking of stranger things, the Miz starts to figure out that could be Ambrose under the teddy bear because they both agreed they didn't order the bear.
Yeah.
And that typical old comedy gag. That was okay. It was kind of a played out type gag to do, but it worked. And it wasn't Ambrose. It looked like the Jordan Devlin from the UK tournament, but it wasn't him. It looked just like him.
Just some guy.
Then all of a sudden, this huge package comes out, and I thought, Michael, because it looked exactly the same, Chainsaw Charlie was coming out of that fucking thing. I thought legit.
Thought Terry Funk was coming out.
I thought the Funker was back, but nope.
That man can barely walk these days, I think.
They wheeled him down on a dolly. He didn't even have to walk down the ramp. Could have been perfect booking.
So you're going to lead to a big Chainsaw Charlie fucking Miz feud, huh?
Tell me that package didn't. Or when Goldust came out of the Baby New Year's package. And Austin stunned him and he went right back in the fucking package. Like in 2 seconds. That was awesome. Maybe one of my favorite stunners. Way off topic. But yeah, the package came out. So Miz thought he was clever again. Elbowed the package. Was funny as shit. Like a jackass type. It was a grandfather clock. So then as soon as you saw the cameraman, you knew it was Ambrose. So then it turned out Miz started cutting promo like, come on out, Ambrose. Cameraman comes up, circa Steve Austin when he dressed like a cameraman in like that cage at that In Your House or whatever, and he attacked the Miz. I thought it was pulled off well. A lot better than the segment they did last week, This Is Your Life, which thank God we didn't have to do a normal show in that segment.
I felt like that really hurt Alexa Bliss when it wasn't really her fault.
Everyone in that was hurt. We are going to get to that here actually in a second. But Michael, I know you really like this segment. Was this your favorite part of Raw?
I said this off the air, but and I've said it on the air many times. I have to reiterate, The Miz is like a hidden gem right now that people notice, but they don't think about in that main event picture. And I feel like if he could get a little push into that main event picture, get the Intercontinental title off of him, can we give him a main event little tiny push? Something to see how it goes over, because I feel like he could be your number one heel on that brand. I feel like he has the natural charisma to be hated, obviously.
Yeah.
And his personality in general is just annoying and entertaining for me. Because if I was going to be a WWE wrestler, I would probably be something similar to The Miz. That's how I would carry myself, and it makes it entertaining for me. And I feel like his in ring work is very underrated. I feel like he's had great matches with some guys that it's not that easy to have great matches with, and hence Ambrose. He's pretty much been carrying Ambrose for the past 6 months between SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
And it's gone a little bit under the radar for me. I know people are like, well, he's not really under the radar. He had his best year last year. Well,
you said it yourself. He's under the radar because when everyone thinks of the title picture, he's never in their minds. He's always that guy that's the odd man out. You're right.
yeah,
You're completely right on that.
I feel like he's definitely paid his dues at his company.
Because they hurt his first title run so bad too. I think.
Yes,
they did that themselves.
It's the way they booked him. But I feel like with Maurice, it could be that redoing of maybe a Triple H Stephanie kind of thing. And I feel like they're missing out on that by wasting it with the Intercontinental title, which I hate to say because the Intercontinental title was so precious once back in the day.
The years are piling up, Michael.
And now it's just still being pretty much put on whoever they feel like putting it on. That this guy, can we do something with him?
At least we've come a long way since they just put on like Ezekiel Jackson and those guys.
Yes.
They have given
Malvidas.
it some more of a boost since Wade Barrett and Ezekiel Jackson days. I will say before we move on from them, I agree with you to an extent.
Big E's a former Intercontinental champion.
Let that sink in. Everyone in New Day is except Xavier. I agree with you to an extent, and the only reason I say that, I think the timing has to be right because now you can't take it off a guy like Brock Lesnar who's a fucking monster.
Obviously,
you can't put it on someone because say what you want. Perception's reality, believability is still a big issue with people visually. It really is.
It is with me.
It would have to be, I would say, in a year or so down the line. A babyface would have to get take it from a Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect fucking guy to take that from.
Take it from a Seth Rollins. You could do that too. It has to be a babyface that is not a big statured guy. Yeah. Hence, no Roman Reigns. You can't have him take it off Roman Reigns because it's just not.
Even though he's about to wrestle him for the IC belt, probably.
Yes.
But we want him to go over Reigns. Do you think early prediction?
No, Reigns will go over.
Okay, because they want to boost that title's credibility.
Yes. Well, and give the thing to do before it comes down to that crunch time before Mania Rumble sort of time.
It's a timing issue.
Yes,
when it's the right time.
The Miz has to take it off of somebody other than a huge muscly guy. It's not going to go over as well, and that's also my big issue with the Samoa Joe Brock Lesnar thing that they're doing right now.
Well, let's get right into that.
Yes.
Probably everyone's favorite part of this show. Mine. Samoa Joe, Paul Heyman. Well, Samoa Joe first cutting. I've defended him for weeks. I don't know who was last week said he's not a good promo, needs a mouthpiece. He's just not. He can cut a hell of a promo, especially when he's angry. It was you.
Yeah,
Angry Joe.
I don't care for his promos at all.
Really? You didn't like this?
No.
None of it?
I didn't care for it.
Wow. Well, you guys all know what happened. Joe cut a promo, interrupted by Paul Heyman. He always gets a good reaction. Paul Heyman, of course, always cuts it.
Yes, that's the best mouthpiece in the biz.
He's unfortunately only there a couple times a year. Should he be an agent? Should he?
He already has history with that, but
do you think he can do it again?
I think with his sketchy past with Vince, that I don't know if I could see that happening.
It seems like Vince has calmed over the years, though. A lot of guys are saying he's not so extreme, I guess.
Yes, but Paul Heyman has that way of pushing people's buttons that are above him, and I don't think he wants to give Paul Heyman any more. I think Paul Heyman could be an agent without actually having the title of agent. I think he could be. He's mentoring a lot of people backstage without being paid for it.
Just being a friend. You did okay. Then we won't say what happened because everyone's probably watched
my biggest issue.
Well, I just want to know real quick, and then that part at the very end where Joe pulled him aside.
Yes,
he talked to him. That was awesome.
That was my biggest issue with it. I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't like it.
I thought it made Joe come off so cold and calculating. Like you're about to feel extreme pain. Like he was just so calm about it at first.
It just was totally unrealistic to me. Any
enough.
man who's in that situation with somebody that they know is going to beat their ass.
But it's Paul Heyman. He's not an athlete.
My biggest issue with it, like I said, was that it was very unrealistic for me. I like my wrestling to make sense and be a little bit realistic.
Well, maybe they're trying to
If you're
portray
a
Paul
fat
Heyman.
old man,
He's
and
a pussy.
Yeah.
There's pussies in the world that'll
yes,
back down,
so
right?
if you're a pussy and you have a guy right in your face that's telling you he's getting ready to choke you out, would you just stand there?
A pussy would. That's what I'm saying.
You just stand there? You wouldn't try to get out of the ring at all?
You just brought up a brawl earlier. I know you've seen your fair share from your pool tournament stuff. You've never seen a fight where some guy was just a total, just back down in front of all his friends, did nothing, and the guy just totally pulled his trump card. You've never seen that happen. But that happens.
My biggest issue is that he did not try to escape at all.
Yeah, because he was booked like a pussy.
Fucking
he
get out of the ring.
To.
It's like a fucking bad horror film where you see Jason coming for you.
And those have a demographic too.
He's just walking towards you with a fucking weapon.
Well, people eat that shit up.
Like, ah! And you're sitting there.
Everyone's buying that terrible Friday the 13th game right now. It doesn't work. It's glitchy.
Like, fucking run away. Like, that's all you have to do.
I'm so surprised you didn't like this segment. We were on the same page all night, and you fucked it up.
Well, we can't always agree. That's the great thing about wrestling. And I did not like it. I do not like Joe on a microphone, but I felt like if you were going to do this off the microphone, Heyman has to try to escape at some point. I would have liked Joe being the Friday the 13th
How would you book this?
I would have liked Heyman escaping out of the ring and then Joe chasing him throughout the night, like stalking him like a Friday the 13th Jason character. That's how I would have done it. It would have been more realistic to me. Heyman trying to avoid it. And then calling Brock as Joe's chasing him around the arena, calling Brock like, "Can you get here? Where are you?" You know, all this stuff. That would have been more entertaining to me. And then Joe finally getting a hold of him out of nowhere. And as he's talking to Brock, he gets him in the coquina clutch.
You make that.
And then my perfect thing would be then Joe picks up the phone and talks to Brock and says whatever on the phone.
It would be even better if while he had Heyman on the ground, so I'll choke him out, he put the phone up to Heyman and said, "Tell him you'll talk to him from the hospital," or something.
Yeah, that's how I would have booked it. That's why I didn't like it. It wasn't as realistic as I would have liked it. I feel like they could have done that with it. And that's why it
you liked it, you just thought they rushed the payoff is what you like.
No, I didn't like the fact that Heyman made no effort to escape. Yeah. He was just like, "Okay, you're going to choke me out. Like, I'm just going to stand here while you choke me out."
It did kind of come off like Joe took his hand like a little kid.
Yeah, like, "Come here. And he just walks right towards him. Okay.
Don't you dare say Daniel Benoit.
It's just, you know, that's what I didn't like about the segment. I felt like they could have done a lot more with it. I felt like it was very lazy. I felt like it made Heyman not look like his character at all. He's that slimy, sneaky little heel that always gets out of the ring most of the time.
Well, he's fat. He's pudgy.
All you have to do is drop down on your knees and get out of the fucking ring. Like, it's not that difficult.
He's old. Maybe he has issues. Maybe his back issue. Maybe he has a colostomy bag. He doesn't want to bust. I'm booking too, man.
That's just...
I'm in my creative meeting. You're in yours. I just happen to have Vince Russo in mind. You got like fucking Eddie Graham or something.
I definitely like my creative meeting a lot more.
You got over there in yours. You got, "Hey, babies, let me tell you how we're going to do it, babies."
Something that would have been more entertaining.
Because obviously you guys are looking at their pictures the whole fucking show. So
the
gist of the show and the big titles, Brock versus Joe. We didn't really get to, you and me get into it on the post show. Let's get into it. And by the way, who the fuck called that? Just want to say, you gloat when you're right. Did I not call Joe from day one? I had a gut feeling.
I'm not going to lie, he was my least likely guy to win that match.
I had a feeling. I had this feeling. And I
felt like there was so much steam left on him and Rollins the way they've been booking.
I think they're just going to save that though, and I don't think they're going to make that for a title for some reason. But I don't. My prediction at the end of this match is that somehow they're going to do like a reverse role, and Heyman's going to end up with Joe. That's what I'm going with my gut, because my gut's told me Joe's in the match, and look now where we're at. That's where I'm thinking they're going after Great Balls of Fire. Speaking of Great Balls of Fire, did you see the initial logo? It looked like a dick and balls.
Yes.
And Sasha Banks agreed with the fan on Twitter that it did. And they've changed the logo, by the way, the dick and balls.
I've definitely seen the promos for it too, with the video package and all that.
Yeah.
It looks like Happy Days.
I thought that was going to be the SummerSlam package at first, because it was like, oh, it's a 50s theme this year. No dick and balls.
Fonzie, like, are they gonna get Fonzie for fucking Great Balls of Fire to come out? Like, are we gonna get Henry Winkler out there fucking doing shit?
Is this match believable to you? Because I guess that's been my biggest question. Is Joe a believable enough?
No.
So I'm guessing you're not hyped.
Well, my biggest problem is you have a Samoan submission specialist that's supposed to be an MMA specialist,
Yeah.
who's never been in an MMA ring, against a guy who's a former UFC heavyweight
Well,
champion.
he may have in some like off promotion.
No,
we don't
he
know for
hasn't.
sure. We don't know for sure.
He has not. I'm just saying, but he's also very pudgy, and it against a guy who looks like a fucking Mack truck. If you were about to say, let's go back to the bar brawl thing that I did earlier.
All right.
If you were outside a bar,
brawl?
if you're outside of a bar, and you know how it happens when you're outside of a bar after closing, there's always going to be a fight somewhere. And you see
So
in
I
the
don't go to
parking lot,
bars.
you have these two guys talking shit to each other, and they're about to fight. Would you think Samoa Joe had a chance in that fucking street fight?
I never judge a book by its cover either, because you never know.
You have a Big Mac truck, 290-pound Brock Lesnar against tubby, 260-pound Samoa Joe, who's about.
See, I would say no, but then I hear stories we were talking about earlier, like Haku, who doesn't look like a Brock Lesnar, but took down guys the size of Brock, took down 7 fucking cops at once.
Yes.
Like, you never, I just don't judge.
Those are normal-sized men. Brock Lesnar is not a normal-sized man, and he's also, obviously, his track record as UFC heavyweight champion.
Also, this isn't UFC. This is also the same company where back in the day when we were younger, we didn't mind a Sid or Shawn feud or a Shawn and Diesel feud. There is no way. Shawn and Taker had tremendous fucking matches, one of the greatest matches of all time at Mania. That's not
my biggest problem is Samoa Joe's gimmick. His gimmick plays.
He's an MMA,
yes,
quote unquote.
His gimmick plays right into Brock Lesnar.
He's like the modern day Taz, where Taz was billed as a kind of.
Yes, and Taz is 3 feet tall. And if you put him up against a guy who's actually a big guy, he looked tiny. Like, this guy has no chance.
Put him up against us and he would look tiny. Like,
yeah,
no offense, Taz.
He's not a big guy. But and that's my biggest problem with this. The eye test. The eye test does not pass with me. And a lot of people say, well, you said you'd like to see Finn Balor and him. Well, Finn Balor also has a ring style that suits to the point of, hey, I can outmaneuver you. I can run away. I can stick and move. I have fast-paced offense. That's my biggest problem. Samoa Joe is not that kind of guy. Samoa Joe's going to walk right into it. And I don't know how they're going to book this match, but I do know Brock Lesnar's going to win. I would bet my fucking house on this.
I'm still saying, if not the Heyman thing, I just think Braun is going to, because I think the 6 months thing is a work. I don't think Braun's out for 6 months. I think Braun's going to come down, cost Lesnar the match, and I think their money match could be Brock and Braun at SummerSlam. And then I would think it would be Joe and Balor for the title at SummerSlam.
I would bet almost anything I had in the world that Brock Lesnar doesn't lose this match.
We'll see. They have me invested at least, if anything. If not hyped, you're interested in the outcome, I guess, in a way.
I mean, I want to see
what they're going to do.
I want to see how they're going to book it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like they put themselves in a corner here a little bit with putting these two guys together.
And then later on backstage, we saw Paul Heyman totally messed up. Gets interviewed on the spot, and he advised Brock Lesnar to return to Raw and said next week, Brock Lesnar is going to pretty much beat up the shit out of the entire roster. Was the gist of this promo, and that's going to
unleash the beast.
That's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see him pick up Enzo and just throw him into a truck or something.
Be like, it was me. Or some stupid shit.
The other big title in this video, guys. Let's get into the ladies of Monday Night Raw. Michael.
Okay.
What was once a exciting, quote-unquote, division, whatever, in Raw, or see what they're going to do, has completely fallen flat, at least for now. Anything
and you took
could
one
happen.
person away.
Huh?
You took one person away from it, and it's fallen flat.
Not only that, you did so many things wrong with Bayley, who you've exploited all of her weaknesses every week consistently for months now. Everything they shouldn't have done with Bayley, they did, and not only did they do it, they repeatedly kept doing it, to the point where we got a 20-minute in-ring promo where somebody thought it was a good idea to revisit 1999 and pretend it's Mick Foley.
Yeah.
And fuck no, it's not. Not even Alexa Bliss, even though I think she's the best woman on the mic in the entire company, could not compare to that level of charisma. Nobody could. That's why shit should never be done twice.
Yeah. Felt like a different title would have been much better.
We dabbled on it earlier, but it's time. What have they done to Bayley, Michael? They have... I don't ever recall maybe using the word buried more than 3 times in the history of the show. I will flat out say it. They have buried Bayley. Not once at Extreme Rules, the weeks prior, the build-up. You have to eventually let her get her heat back. Okay, you can eat a fucking pin. She could have ate the fucking pin in Extreme Rules. But after the match, when there's fucking filler time, when you're gonna fill it with Titus O'Neil and KFC commercials and fucking bullshit, she can't just hit a belly to Bailey? She can't just hit her with a fucking stick? Who did this fucking feud get over? It made the fans think that Alexa Bliss segments aren't reliable and they should change the channel. Good on WWE for poking fun at themselves on Raw this week, which was funny as shit with Kurt Angle backstage. They've admitted it was bad. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. They've killed Bailey dead right now. She's dead right now. They didn't even put her on this show this week. To her credit, those were nasty photos they showed of her back all fucked up.
Yeah.
That's why she wasn't on Raw. Injury couldn't come at a better time for Bailey. On the other hand, time for you to get
sympathy.
Time for you to get fired up. Well, let's wrap up the Bailey thing since it's the title. A, is she salvageable? B, how do you do it? Should the fans even care at this point? Michael.
Oof. God, don't fucking just lay it on me.
Live, baby, live.
Putting me under the pressure cooker here. Okay, A, is it salvageable?
It's shockingly bad.
Yes, it's salvageable. It is salvageable. I don't know if it's going to be immediate, but eventually you're going to see her get her revenge on Alexa Bliss. Whether it's for the title or not, you're going to see her get her revenge on Alexa Bliss, because right now you can see they're kind of leaning towards a program with her and with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Which you could see at the next Raw pay-per-view.
That's when you're going to get fired up.
And you could see Bailey possibly costing Alexa Bliss that match, where maybe Alexa Bliss tries to get disqualified, and Bailey does something and costs her the match, and Nia Jax is your champion. Then that would lead to Bailey getting her heat back, as you say. Is it salvageable? Yes, I could see it being salvaged that way. It's basically been put as like a fucking high school feud. Like, you're a bully. You picked on me for forever now.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to get my revenge by picking on you a little bit.
I think my biggest problem is, I think even go back any era, the cheesiest babyface, take a Ricky Steamboat, any of them, any white knight, they smile and it gleams out of their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
They could only take so much, and eventually they bit back. They have never given this woman written in anything where she's bitten back. If she
Not
does,
on the main roster.
If she does bite back, she's immediately just laid out 2 seconds later. She'll get a little offense in and then just laid out. Like, do you think she's been buried so far? Because I know you don't like that word either. I think she has.
No.
I think she totally has. If they continue this way, most definitely, in the end.
In today's WWE, no.
I guess the other biggest question, why did they do this? In their eyes, did they think they were booking this right? Was it politics and they were
talking
trying?
about the This Is Your Life segment?
All of it. Everything they've done with Bailey since she's won the title. It's like they've held on to this cringy fucking dream shit. You should stop building up a dream promo after someone wins a title. They've accomplished the goal. After everything's happened in the movie and the credits are about to roll, I don't want something like another... You know what I'm saying? It jumps the shark at that point. It's too much. Every step of the way, it seems like. Even when the shit was decent she was doing. Like, the 4-way match at Mania was okay. But, like, before that, when she was feuding with Charlotte, it wasn't even that good then. It's like the only time I can literally tolerate Bailey was when she was NXT. And that speaks to the booking. She wasn't a good promo in NXT, but they didn't exploit it. They didn't focus on it because they know what the fuck they're doing in NXT.
Yeah.
There is a huge gap, communication gap, between Raw and NXT sometimes. And I know fans love to bitch about it, but I'll say it again. This has been shocking. As much money as could have been in Bailey. And I know she sells a shitload of merch. It's probably not affecting her merch sales, but you want your demographic to not just be kids, but you want the older crowd, the teens that think she's cool. And you got those weird guys in Bailey shirts we talk about all the time. And that's just another weird creep level type thing. But I don't know, man. It's rough, and it's not getting, because you've been saying, where the fuck is Nia Jax? You hopped on the middle of the show last week. You didn't get to talk about this with me. We did talk about it with you off air when you weren't on the show. They had Nia Jax on the pre-show, and they had her talking like a Valley girl, and it sucked. It sounded like China on that episode of like Rehab House she was on VH1. It was bad because she does have the more masculine deep voice, and it's just, she's supposed to be a monster heel. Hey, why is she talking? Why is she doing a sit-down interview? Jimmy Snuka didn't even do a sit-down interview, and he was a babyface.
Well, my thing is, if they're going to have her talk, it should be short and sweet. Exactly. It shouldn't be on a panel.
Do it like Joe with rage, and then beating the shit out of somebody immediately. Not, hi, Renee.
Yeah, it's...
Besties. She was saying shit like bae and bullshit that she should have never said. But She was on Raw this week, Michael. She's back. You got your wish. Granted, a women's championship match. She
But
win it?
To go back
Did she win
to
it?
go back to the Bailey thing.
Good.
My biggest issue with the whole Bailey situation has nothing to do with promos, surprisingly, because I've always been so critical of her
You
promos.
hate her in ring. I know for a fact.
It's the in-ring stuff that has really bothered me, and it's not even. I don't even think it's her work. It's the storytelling. Like, what Bailey match has made sense to you since she's come up to the main roster? Like the Mania match. Did that make sense to you? She beat Charlotte with an elbow from the top rope.
I would probably say,
Have you ever seen Bailey win a match with a top rope elbow?
as far as storytelling,
Ever? Have you ever seen it?
I mean,
Ever?
she doesn't have to win.
No. And Charlotte just loses 1, 2, 3 right in the ring from a fucking top rope elbow? Like, how bad does that make Charlotte look? And what the fuck story does that tell for Bailey?
We're also
Like,
forgetting-
I'm a big Macho Man fan, so I did an elbow and I won the title with it.
What is she, Eugene? She's like the female.
It just.
I love the Rock.
Well,
so-
I'm just saying that's
I know.
what it said to me when I saw it. And then
you remember
also-
a couple months back at that pay-per-view where Sasha Banks, a babyface, did a heel tactic to help Bailey
Yes.
win, and nobody
And-
said anything.
No, it was kind of like,
and nothing. They brushed it under
Yeah,
the rug.
it's like, what
How did
fucking-
that? I think that was the actual point where
Yes.
it just went to shit. Like
my
what the
biggest
fuck was
problem is
that?
I can see it on screen that there's people backstage and creative that just aren't agreeing on anything, so they just fucking throw something out there, and then the next week they try and hash it out to make it make sense. It just gets even more out of whack.
It's just a
That's
case
where
of-
they are in this women's division on Raw. I feel like there's 4 people probably back there, and 2 are on one side, and 2 are on the other. So Vince is saying, okay, let's go somewhere in the middle here. Let's do this. And then the next week, it's the fucking same thing. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not telling me any kind of consistent story.
Yeah.
It's not making any sense to me. That's my biggest problem with the Bailey thing.
If anything,
And it's not her fault. I know it's not her fault. She's just doing what she's told. They're doing what they're told.
Yeah.
And it's hurting this women's division because it's not making any fucking sense. You have Bailey winning with a top rope elbow. Have you ever seen her win a match since then with a top rope elbow?
They're turning their Raw women's division into the P break again. They had the eyes back on the women's matches for a while because it was okay. The women's Divas Revolution thing we all know sucked. They did it wrong. But we got some okay, like the Sasha and Charlotte Falls kind of match is really good. They main evented their. Say what you want about. We've all talked about the Hell in a Cell. Whatever. People were more invested then when it was still mediocre than it is now.
Yes.
And Nia Jax lost, by the
You
way.
can talk about your hotshot booking all you want, but at least they were putting on high quality matches.
Hey, by the way, these are the same writers that have Dana Brooke as a babyface. The most unlikable woman probably in the world besides Eva Marie is one of the biggest fucking babyfaces. Good old, your favorite, Mickie James running down to the ring during the match. And that's what cost Alexa Bliss. 2 women that aren't even close to a title shot, can't even smell a title shot.
Can we still mention that Mickie James is still wearing the same ring attire from when she was in WWE how many years prior?
Can we at least remind them that Sasha Banks is employed? Because where was
my
Sasha?
girlfriend, who doesn't really watch the television as far as WWE goes regularly, she says, what the fuck is she wearing? Are those bell bottoms? Like, she looks old. That's exactly what she said about Mickie James. She looks, and she even said this the other week that Mickie James looked pudgy. Like,
no, I'm not. I'm not talking about.
And a few weeks ago, Mickie James looked like she had a sculpted 6-pack. I don't know if she's going back to what happened before with her, where she got a little, with her ring attire, you cannot have any stomach at all because she's wearing literal like tights.
If you're going to say Mickie James is fat,
no, I'm not saying she's fat at all.
Crazy.
But her ring attire is not flattering.
I mean,
for her.
she looks fine to me. She's like a fine wine to me. Maybe it's just different opinions.
No, I don't like it at all. I don't think she looks good.
We've been worked up about so much stuff tonight. I don't want to talk about the women anymore.
That's my problem with the Bailey thing. Now, to go to Nia Jax. Let's go.
It's your turn.
Nia Jax gets a magical title shot on Raw this week against the champ, Alexa Bliss. Travis, you know how I'm going to feel about this.
It was rushed.
It's a fucking schmoz. It's a schmoz. That's what we get.
At least Nia didn't eat a pin.
No.
And I'm not going to make an eating joke because I know you like Nia.
Stop it. But my biggest problem with Nia is why are they announcing her weight? Like, if I was Nia Jax, I'd be like, you guys are pricks. You know what I mean? So
When it comes into the believability
I'm pretty sure they
factor.
announce her at 272 pounds. What they announce her at. Name me one woman in the world that is that weight that would like their weight to be announced.
Someone that thinks there's money in them being fat monster
I
meal.
just-
I don't know.
It
I don't
just,
care. Tell him my weight. If it draws.
it just.
Do you remember back in...
Do you remember them announcing Bertha Faye's weight?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Bertha Faye!
I was going to say, talk about memories. See how much of a nerd you are. That I remember this. See if you do. You remember Survivor Series 87 with Moolah's team?
Oh.
And, like, they got her weight wrong. They said, like, 260. And it showed her face going,
she went,
the fuck?
yeah,
Like, it was...
Yeah.
It's so sad we remember that.
No, I don't think it was that big, though. I think it was, like, 200 pounds or something. And she's like... And then the announcers even commented on it. Moolah didn't look like she cared for that too much.
Yeah. You know, Moolah... So Jesse was like,
Yeah.
Moolah didn't like she cared for that too much,
Talk
gorilla.
about the most unrealistic champion at that time.
I always remember her in ranks.
she's
That's how she sells.
She's fucking 50 years old. You could see it on her, and she's wearing that. Ugh.
Well, let's move the show along, Michael, because we got more Raw and some SmackDown. We didn't see all SmackDown this week. We get some tidbits.
Basically, we got a schmoz. Alexa Bliss kept her title by disqualification. Nia Jax beat the hell out of everyone that came in anywhere in sight.
At least they did make her look strong in that respect.
Hopefully, this leads to a feud down the road.
Yeah.
Nia Jax, I've said this before, needs to be that champion at some point. I feel like it validates everything they've done with her. It would make sense to have her hold the belt at some point, but I don't like her taking it off of Alexa Bliss. I would have loved to seen her take it off of Bayley.
Bayley would have been perfect.
I felt like Nia Jax should have been put in the spot that Alexa Bliss was.
Honestly, this match shouldn't even be happening. These are the wrong two to build a feud off. They're two fucking heels for one, and I don't know.
You put Nia Jax in that spot where Bayley got beat by Alexa Bliss. Where Alexa Bliss beat her with the DDT, 1, 2, 3 right in the ring.
You took a woman who had the possibility of being booked like your female Daniel Bryan mixed with John Cena as like the underdog who's like so appealing to kids, and you just turned her into Doink the fucking Clown right now, and you've got to cool her off. You got to salvage it fast because fans, the last thing they have is patience. Speaking of patience, Michael, when we got to sit through shit like Kalisto and Titus O'Neil, I want to breeze over it. So
Kalisto gets the win.
I'm digging his mask, though, even though he's ripping off Muda.
Good ring gear.
Let's wrap up the Enzo and Cass talk. This did lead to a match. Enzo had to find a partner. The Big Show. Do a warm greeting, actually.
Yes.
Entertained me, actually, in a backstage promo for a second. He just started, talking like one of them. For a second, it entertained me. Then I was like, all right, stop talking. Like, after literally 3 words. I was like, your accent's terrible. It was a poor Gallows and Anderson right now, man.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Here we go again.
I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with them, but
it was a fun trip.
I know it's the Big Show, but you have a makeshift tag team against a team that's won titles all around the world.
You have a team, honestly, that should be on SmackDown. Well, he should have been as part of a heel stable with Styles, but
yes, I feel like the Good Brothers are being not handled very good. So, yes. What else can you say about Gallows and Anderson, though? You know what you're going to get from him. Charisma.
Maybe Anderson.
PG era is not there.
No, they're the beer drinking, cussing guys that got him over in Japan.
Yes, and it's not going to be able to translate in WWE while they're PG. So
this isn't Cruise Control, but let's talk the Cruiserweight because I already talked what had played out of this thing. I just want to get your thoughts on Neville attacking TJP. I thought it was great. I praised it on the show, which I thought was the best episode of 205 Live this week they have ever done. I just thought my short 2 cents on it, thought it made Neville look like the better heel and a piece of shit, and that's how heels should look. And I think Neville's gold right now. He's fired.
My biggest problem is I'm not interested in this feud at all.
Yeah, it's not really a feud. Like they had the match 205, Neville beat him clean.
Yeah. Not interested at all.
It wasn't meant to be a long running feud. I don't know what they're doing with them. I would like to think by the end of summer it's going to be Cedric Alexander. That's what I said on Cruise Control because I'm a big Cedric. You got to check out at least these fucking jobber matches they're giving these guys lately on 205 Live. They're squashing the fuck out of them. Man.
It definitely makes me wonder who's going to be the guy to take the belt off of Neville. That's the only interesting part about the Cruiserweight.
See, I would have thought Tozawa, but for some reason, Titus O'Neil, speak the Devils, on 205 Live this week, trying to approach Tozawa to make him part of the Titus brand, which is awful. That is just fucking awful, and I buried it then, and I'll bury it now. Fuck that. But hey,
I thought maybe for a little while it was going to be Gallagher in the long run.
It hasn't been there for a while.
But it's hard for me to see anybody taking that belt off of Neville right now. I could see him holding that belt for a very long time. until they bring some more talent in that division that makes you interested. It's especially with Austin Aries probably taking a little hiatus.
Yeah, so speaking of injuries like earlier and the
Yeah.
cruiserweights, Alicia Fox apparently suffered a neck injury, and Aries out with an neck injury.
Yeah.
So explains why I wasn't on the show. I just thought they were being smart and just cooling him off for a little bit because that long feud, but no, that's giving them too much credit. He was injured, so I just wasn't informed at the time.
It just
We never got another good Gold Dust vignette, Michael. It's going to lead to nothing, unfortunately, but hey, it's
probably a feud with R-Truth.
It's fun to watch. It is a feud with R-Truth. That's why I'm like,
yeah. That's what you're gonna get out of it.
But then after the Big Show match, you saw jealous Cass backstage. And then Big Show saying, "No, you guys go ahead." And they're planting a seed for you to think Cass is up to something, at least out of all this. Well, my 2 cents.
Don't like it.
Now, you saw Kurt Angle confront Samoa Joe backstage. This is a part of the show I was pleasantly surprised on for his shit he did to Paul Heyman or whatever. All of a sudden, Seth Rollins with some intensity for once in a new basketball jersey, reminding me of the Attitude Era or something. I actually liked Rollins here. I thought he showed a little fire. He was pissed off. I don't know. These guys got their own nice merch now, so they made it, I guess. I don't really like Joe's logo, by the way.
It made Seth Rollins look interesting.
Joe's logo looks like it was done in Photoshop, in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you notice the more intensity from Rollins over the past week or so?
I noticed the merch more than I noticed the intensity. To be honest with you,
you want that jersey, don't you?
No, I don't. But I noticed the merch more than I think the new merchandise took me off of the promo that had the possibility of being at least partly memorable for the intensity. But yes, I do like the new merch. The promo was good, but unfortunately, the new merch mixed with the promo just took my focus off of the actual promo.
The merch is getting so much play. I feel like we work for WWE Shop right now.
It's just the new merch just kind of like, what the fuck's he wearing?
Is it because it's a basketball jersey? Is that what it is?
I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's just because
Cassius Ohno out there.
Well, no, because it's different. I was like, what the fuck's he wearing? I wasn't really paying attention to what he was saying as much. So, but, I know we have our friends that are big Seth Rollins marks, but...
I like Rollins. I still think they turn him babyface too soon, but, they did have a good match here. I liked it, and Joe got the win. Coquina Clutch. They made him look strong. The show closed with Joe standing over Rollins. That's how they went off the air this week, Michael. Good episode. For once, it's actually nice to see. Like I said, I'm so glad we didn't have to review last week's. But that was Monday Night Raw this week. What's your grade? What do you got, Mike?
Yuck.
Yucky.
I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C plus. C plus for me. Wasn't great for me, but it wasn't terrible. It was better than the pay-per-view, I guess, because I gave the pay-per-view a solid C. But this was a little better than pay-per-view for me as far as what they were doing. There was good, there was bad, there was the women. It just, that's why I couldn't put it in the B scale just because of the terrible way they're booking the women, and the Goldust promo was not great for me, and also the Samoa Joe thing.
Yeah, you weren't
kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So, but I did enjoy the Roman Reigns Bray Wyatt match. I enjoyed the Miz promo / celebration.
Wasn't enough to get a B minus out of you?
No, there was too much bad for me. But I think a lot of that has to go with they have to fill 3 hours and.
Hey, if we agreed all the time, show would fucking suck.
I'm sure you're going to give it a better grade than me, though.
I'm actually going to give it a B. I thought that it was for 3 hours. They had 3 hours to work with. I think they told enough stories in it, and I think this week it stood out more because this week flowed so much better for me. Because it's like they knew, okay, somebody finally woke up and was like, okay, well, we have this extra hour. Why don't we fucking use it instead of to make us fucking promo shit that nobody cares about? You know what I mean? So I think they sprinkled in Miz. They intertwined their angles, too. I noticed that more. They had
throughout the night.
Miz and Maurice walking backstage, and it was like an off-camera shoot to Cass. And I don't want to say change in the guard, but it was noticeable for me how it was shot. And it gets a B for me with, like you said, the Reigns match was very good for those two. Very good.
Great way to start the show.
I love that Joe promo. Tremendous shit. We disagree, obviously. You guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Be the tiebreaker. Be the rubber match, so to speak. What did you guys think of the Joe stuff?
Except for Logan. I don't want to fucking hear any opinion you have.
I already hit the button earlier on the debate.
You disgust me.
He's not Kenny Bolin. You're not Jim Cornette.
Make me want to vomit.
But before we get into SmackDown, I might have a little couple-minute break, potty break, whatnot.
Potty time.
I need a drink, but
I'm out of drinks.
well, I got stuff upstairs.
All right.
When we come back, we're going to talk about SmackDown. And Mike will probably be a dick to Logan again, so it's Slam Pigs Podcast.
Logan,
Michael,
make me want to vomit.
we'll be right back.
I think I need some. Logan, you make me want to vomit.
She never expects anything from me. Were all the days of my youth. I know I miss that part of
Well, we are back. Slam Pigs podcast. Welcome back, Michael, episode 69, live, baby, live. Logan is in the chat, talking about cold cuts, talking about stuff with Michael. I can't see the chat, but to anybody that stopped by there, stops by, thank you for stopping by. I love going live, Michael. It's our new favorite thing to do. I'm glad we figured it out. We are back. Michael,
We are live.
anything you want to say to Logan real quick before we get this show rolling with SmackDown?
I just said it in the chat.
I mean, do you want to say it out of your mouth, or?
Well, I just would like to mention that I had a little bit of cold cuts out of Travis's fridge. I'm wondering if Logan's a little jealous.
I'm jealous. I should have ate one while I was up there, too.
Yeah. Logan actually answered, said, yes, actually, I am jealous.
Well,
so,
there you have it.
They don't stock your fridge enough there at your parents' house? Or I guess it's kind of hard to stock the fridge enough for you, though. Yeah.
Well, if everyone's put their salt shakers away, I guess now's a better time than ever.
I feel like Logan, you imagine Logan in the Bastion Booger work attire?
Don't. Just stop.
If he could grow facial hair, I don't know if he can actually do it.
Well, let's let you mark out.
His hair follicles might actually be burnt off.
Will you be okay? Will you be serious? I'm cutting it off. I'm pulling the plug. Let's move on, Michael. Your favorite part of the show coming twice. It's time for this week's SmackDown review. SmackDown was live this week, Michael. And, yeah, it's build up to Money in the Bank. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off the music like that. I meant to fade it out. Yeah, give me a break, guys. I'm live. We got the go-home show to Money in the Bank this week. So let's go ahead, since we didn't watch a lot of SmackDown this week, talk about a few things. I think my biggest problem out of this, they rushed giving us Owens and Nakamura already, which I thought was under the assumption, which is why I don't always listen to the dirt sheets. That's what we're getting Mania or SummerSlam. We still could get that, but I thought that was going to be promoted as like a first time ever, especially for your second biggest show of the year. It's WWE. I mean, I'm not shocked. It's disappointing, especially that KO keeps eating these pins in tag
3 weeks in a row, I believe.
In tags, six-mans, one-on-one now. Christ. What did you think of that? It was a good match. Really good match.
It was a good match, but my same issue is I don't feel like the strong style is getting over with the WWE main roster audience as much as it did in NXT. Because we all know the NXT audience is a little more smarky, I want to say.
You think? A little bit?
Yeah, than the main roster audience. So with the lack of mic skills, with the language barrier, plus the in-ring style, I'm afraid that Nakamura is he's falling flat a little bit for me on the main roster, like I thought he would. But they're still promoting the shit out of him because everybody sings his entrance music. So obviously that means that we need to push the guy. Except unless you're Fandango, who had the fucking whole crowd doing the Fandango dance
for 15 minutes.
So
And then it was done.
it's for me. I don't know. It was a good match. Kevin Owens definitely sold great. It told a story, but he took the clean loss here. Felt like there could have been a schmoz somewhere here where they could have incorporated the Money in the Bank pay per view.
Yeah, we're not saying he had to pin fucking Nakamura clean or anything, but you schmoz your. I mean, you schmoz your way out of shit on Raw all the time.
I mean,
Why-
you got the Money in the Bank pay per view coming up where both these guys are involved. Maybe some other guys from that come out, interfere.
I don't know. I don't know, man. That was that. That was the bigger match, the main event coming out this week. Good match.
Logan wanted us to know, obviously, he said, I stock my own refrigerator. I help out my mom.
Oh,
So,
there you have it.
Logan does live with his mom, like I thought.
Let's talk about probably the biggest
Logan lives with
news.
his mom.
I'm just ignoring you guys at this point. I'm trying to get through SmackDown. Probably the biggest news to come out of SmackDown this week was the ladies' Money in the Bank. It looks like a purse, but the briefcase was unveiled for the women painted white. If it's for a woman, paint it white. That's their philosophy. It just looks like the other one. But
Now
white.
that Logan's old enough to drink,
Well, I wanted to see.
what do you think? What could you see him drinking? He seems more of like a Smirnoff Ice kind of guy to me. What do you think?
Wild turkey all day. He's from West V, man. That's all they drink.
I
They
don't
live
know.
off of wild turkey.
I don't know. I don't think he can handle that.
Um,
He looks more like a Smirnoff, maybe I don't know, maybe a Smirnoff Raz or maybe a Red's
will
Apple
you
Ale
be
kind of
serious?
guy.
Natalia's reaction looked like she wanted to eat a cheeseburger. You said off air when
Well,
the
it made me think of
briefcase
Logan.
it was unveiled. Oh my!
She had
I did not mean to segue that, Logan. Shit, I didn't even think. Yes, she totally did. By the way, she looked like she ordered extra mayo and that shit and everything. Did she literally
You have
like?
jalapeno bacon breadsticks in your fridge?
I did the other day.
Well, evidently Logan knows all about it.
I think I suggested him getting the new Domino's pizza jalapeno bacon breadsticks, which are stuffed with it and cheese.
Which I've had those before.
I love
but,
them.
Yeah, they're good. But
Where the fuck
just
am
what-
I
just
now?
what you
Where
need-
am I in the show?
just what you need to
This
eat,
is-
Logan.
this-
Have some jalapeno bacon breadsticks from Domino's.
We're approaching the 2-hour mark, and this is not a good time.
Wouldn't want to fucking change things up with maybe a fucking salad or something. Jesus.
Women! We're talking about the women. The Money in the Bank match. Natalya looking like she wanted to eat it. All of a sudden, out comes Lana. After weeks of an
Wow,
Emily.
that was a good voice pitch change.
Excuse me.
Lana!
After weeks of what we thought they were going to drag it on just to be dicks like Emelina, make us wait again for nothing. Lana, of all people, comes out in a beautiful blue gown, looking like a total doll baby. There it is this
God
week.
Damn it. Well, at least
And
it wasn't. At least you were talking about a woman.
And she could pass as a Barbie doll, kind of. So she came down to the ring and cuts a promo in her Russian accent. Michael, you watched this with me because we both missed the show originally. What'd you think? And your new title challenger now at Money in the Bank, it's Naomi, because Naomi came out and all that shit. They made the match, blah, blah. And she cut the same exact promo on Talking Smack that she cut here, pretty much. And I didn't
The
like
accent needs to go. I know it's part of her gimmick that they've had forever, but if anyone's actually watched television and watched the Total Divas crap, we all know that Lana doesn't have an accent, and now when you listen to her with the accent, it just sounds terrible. Some words she says with an accent, some words she just sounds like you and I. So my biggest problem with her promo is obviously that the fake accent really pisses me off a little bit to this point.
Is Matt Hardy's better? Wait, no, it was a joke.
I think Booker T's was better, to be honest with you.
Hey,
But
how dare you?
I'm just saying, King Booker.
Bow down to your king. Yeah, she not good, not good, and a lot of people, of course, are shitting themselves on the internet this week. She doesn't deserve it. Blibbity blue, blibbity blah, typical fucking
Because
snarky
Jinder
bullshit.
Mahal deserved his.
I've given up. I don't get upset over this kind of shit anymore. It's just whatever. Like if it's going to entertain me in the long run, let her be in some. Maybe they're intentionally making her have a bad accent because it didn't seem like it used to be this bad. It seemed like her accent used to be better when she managed Rusev. Is it me?
Yeah, I don't know if she's a little rusty.
It's gotten worse.
But she didn't talk as much.
Stop taking shitty movie fucking roles. It's breaking up your accent. Those movies suck.
What?
Nobody cared about your movie with Edge or whatever. Nobody watched it. Did you?
No.
I don't even know I don't even know if it was Edge. I'm just taking a guess.
I didn't even know she did one.
She's an actress. She was an actress first. She was in a nude scene, and it was like a big thing on the internet.
Well, it wasn't because of her acting.
But can't put China in the Hall of Fame, but Lana can get a title shot with her boobies on the internet. I'm not upset
Well,
about
let's
it.
be honest.
Guys,
Lana's boobies are probably a lot more appealing than China's.
I'm not going to get fired up, but I want to preach a little bit. You love wrestling. I love wrestling done right. All types, all eras, whatnot, right? I won't get too preachy, I promise. Fuck.
Did you lose it?
Yeah, I lost it.
Do you need a second?
I need a second. It's been a long night.
Well, Lana was doing a shitty accent, which I didn't care for. Her boobies are all over the internet. Travis thinks that China should be in the Hall of Fame, and she's not because of her boobies all over the internet. But to be honest here, I'm not upset about it.
I got it.
All right, go ahead.
I didn't mean to do right when you were going to take yours home. Take yours home, and then I got it.
Well,
I remember it.
To be honest, it doesn't upset me at all because you need something for Naomi to do while this Money in the Bank is happening. It wouldn't make sense to take one of these women out of it because I don't think anybody's really cleanly shown themselves as the number one contender as of late. So it makes sense for Lana to get the title shot because she hasn't been there. Pretty much everybody else on that roster has gotten themselves over a little bit since the WrestleMania.
Even Mickey James, more than Lana. She's been there. At least she's shown up.
I mean, we don't know what we're going to get from Lana in the ring, but I feel like Naomi's a good person to put her in with. Somebody athletic. Lana doesn't have to do much of the running.
Yeah.
We did see Lana briefly at WrestleMania before. I didn't think she was terrible for when she was in the ring.
It was like an 8-woman match, right?
But still,
she's worked NXT house shows forever, for years.
And obviously she's got the experience under her belt now. Working with someone like Naomi isn't going to hurt her. I feel like it can only help her.
Yeah.
Even if the match isn't great, it's not going to get blamed on Lana. I don't think. I think it's going to get blamed on the vet. So why not? I mean, obviously she's probably not going to win it, but at least it gets her on television in the ring. People starting to take her seriously.
Yeah.
But my biggest issue is the accent. It's awful. Awful, awful, awful. Terrible.
What I was going to say, and I agree. What I was going to say when I said I don't want to get too preachy. When I talk about the people getting bent out of shape, completely way too bent out of shape over this, I just take a step back and look at what we're getting upset about. The SmackDown's women division. It's really not that serious. So that's why I'm not. I could care less. If it's something different, maybe it'll work out for the best. We don't know. We have yet to see her wrestle. So after we see her wrestle, then I'll critique it more and have a better grasp on it. But for now, it's a case of the unknown. And I mean, it's got me intrigued to see if she's going to suck. Kind of like Eva Marie did last year in a way. But we all know how that was going to play out. Brian Kendrick can train you all day, but if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Baron Corbin beat the shit out of Sami Zayn backstage again. Wearing a beanie in June, by the way. He's always going to wear that fucking thing.
He's that guy because of the receding hairline. I wonder why he has it.
Fucking guy. That guy.
It's because you wear something on your head all the time. At least me, I'm a hat person, but at least I don't wear a hat every fucking day of the year.
You wear a baseball cap. Yes. Which is appropriate seasonally year-round.
Well,
I'm not trying to be like, hey, clothes Nazi, don't wear this, but we all know that guy, and it's not...
The only thing worse he could do is come out with a man bun.
Or some jean shorts, fucking Tommy Hilfiger t-shirt, Nautica shirt.
With a man bun.
Take it back to when wrestling was good. Take it back to 98, which, cheap plug. Check out for a doubleheader dropping either late tonight or tomorrow morning because it's in the books, it's ready to go. Union Smack number 3, Michael. Capital Carnage 98 review. Excited to drop that. You're going to like this one. Steve Blackman gets the IC title shot in this pay-per-view, which I did not know. I went in blind, and the excitement levels in my household that night were through the roof. Well,
not just by you, obviously, the whole household.
Let's go ahead and throw in our predictions, because quite honestly, the rest of the show is pretty much what we've seen before with Styles and Ziggler shit. Money in the Bank, let's get right to the elephant in the room a lot. I'm still going with Corbin. I still think it's Corbin, especially since he's been taking clean losses. They always do that to a guy that's about to win that fucking thing. And then once he wins it, he's going to lose for a couple months, and then he'll cash it in, and magically he'll win again. That's my pick. Michael, the internet's saying Sami Zayn everyone's buzzing about. That would be one of the more obvious picks. Who do you got up?
The odds-on favorite as far as the betting odds, Vegas odds, are for Corbin. He's a heavy favorite, actually, to win this match. I'm going with the dark horse. I'm going with it. I'm going with the plus 2,500 underdog. I'm going with Dolph Ziggler, guy who doesn't win ever. And he's cashed in that Money in the Bank before. We've heard the pop he got for it. Hey, why not? Zigglesworth. I mean, obviously my head says Corbin, but my wallet says Ziggler.
I don't think Owens and Styles should be in this match. I think you would, and as much as I don't like him, you could have put Mojo Rawley in this match. Because I think Money in the Bank always comes off to you like it gives younger guys a chance.
So who would you take out of the match, though?
I wouldn't have put Styles in this match. I don't think, because he's already been to the top in a way. And if he had the Money in the Bank as a babyface, we've already seen him win the title. And we've been there with him, and we went through all that. But to do it twice, they always take a risk in doing that for a lackluster crowd reaction that could kill it. I don't know. And it's Kevin Owens, like I said, it could be cool with Owens as like a dual champion, but quite honestly, I don't know.
I agree with you in part here. I would have had a rematch between those two.
Yeah.
And put
It deserved a
and just
rematch.
kept it with 5 guys in the Money in the Bank by putting either Mojo or whoever you wanted to put in it.
I don't like mid-card champions being in my Money in the Bank matches to begin with.
Yeah.
I never have. Like, I didn't even like it when
Jeff Hardy was the Intercontinental Champion.
I was going to say Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though he became the guy to watch in those matches, it's just funny how that worked out. Randy Orton got his first promo in a while too, Michael, this week. Before we get into the rest of our reviews, responding
Didn't get to hear it.
Didn't get to hear it, but we'll see what happens in Money in the Bank.
Randy Orton promo.
Do they have a rematch officially Money in the Bank?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown.
I got gender. They will not hinder him right now. They want that money from their Indian fan base. That is exactly why, over the weeks that have unfolded, they put the title on Jinder Mahal. They've been desperately seeking their Indian market over there in India because wrestling's become popular again. They want that money, and they did it. And it makes sense business-wise. I can't argue that. It's been fucking terrible so far. It's been abysmal to watch this entertainment-wise. We got Mojo Rawley and Jinder this week with that promo. We talked about everything else in the world besides listen to that promo. It was so uninteresting from Jinder Mahal this week.
I'm going to throw a little swerve here. It's actually going to contradict my prediction. But I'm going to say Randy Orton wins the belt back in his hometown.
Okay.
Then
loses it on that SmackDown then?
Loses it that night to the Money in the Bank winner, Kevin Owens.
You just picked Ziggler to win Money in the Bank.
But I'm just saying I could see this happening. I'm going to contradict myself. That way
And then a dual champion?
Yes, you could see a dual champion there.
The ultimate face of America.
Yes, and which sets up for Mr. Cena returning on July 4th. With Kevin Owens running the whole fucking show as the face of America, and then you have Captain America coming back on July 4th, which has already been advertised. John Cena will return July 4th.
As far as that, I still think they're sending Nakamura's ass out there in ring with John Cena. I think they're going to tease it. I don't think they're going to have a SummerSlam match. I just think they're going to test the waters. And they're going to do it as 2 baby faces. No one's getting attacked. They're going to do it for a spectacle. I think they're going to waste it. I don't want Cena in the title picture, man. I don't.
Entertainment purpose.
I mean, I don't hate Cena as a performer at this point. It's refreshing to see him, but I love him in that Triple H spot we're talking about. That's where he needs to be now, putting guys over.
I can see Corbin winning it. I would like my betting thing went with Ziggler. It has nothing to do with actually making sense. I don't really think Ziggler's going to win it, but if I was using my wallet, I would bet on Ziggler because it doesn't hurt you to bet on Ziggler.
Yeah.
Obviously, Corbin's the odds-on favorite.
There's $1.30 or something.
But I mean, as far as this being an entertaining pay-per-view at the end, I would like to see Jinder lose it to Randy Orton because Randy Orton gets that fucking hometown win, and then after that hard-fought, maybe after the match, he gets attacked by the Singh brothers and Jinder, and then bam, out comes Kevin Owens to cash in that briefcase right then and there. He hits the fucking pop-up power bomb. Bam, Kevin Owens, your dual face of America.
You're hot-shotting it. I like it. You're thinking, well, you're not thinking outside the box. You're just pushing.
I mean, it happened last year. It happened last year with Ambrose, so.
That's why they wouldn't do it again, though, probably.
Yeah, maybe not, but that's how I would do it. I could see that being entertaining, which sets up perfectly for John Cena coming back. But if I was using my head booking this, I'm going to pick Jinder Mahal to retain, with help from the Singh brothers, obviously, whether it's by hook or by crook. He's going to keep that belt to set up with the feud with Cena. When Cena comes back, Captain America is going to come back to defend America's honor against Mr. Anti-America.
Yeah.
Which I still don't think Jinder Mahal is the number one heel on the brand. I still think it's Kevin Owens. But whatever. That's how I would book it.
Well, you got Rusev out there too, lurking, just waiting to be thrown into some angle.
Hopefully, it's not with Cena.
Lana and Naomi, Michael, for the title. Naomi.
Yeah.
I can't say anything else right now. Nothing's going to change my mind.
Yeah.
Women's Money in the Bank. Now it gets a little interesting in a way. My gut wants to say Charlotte. My head is telling me Natalya for some reason. I don't know why, because I always like it better when a heel has the Money in the Bank. Because that babyface cashing in the Money in the Bank kind of doesn't make sense. It kind of contradicts them. It's a cheap way to win the belt. You want your babyfaces to seem cheap, like when Sasha helped Bailey. You know what I'm saying? Natalya. I'm going Natalya.
I'm going with the same thought process as you. I'm cutting out the baby faces.
Ellsworth. He's not. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on the right track.
Carmella?
Yes, that's
Wow.
my pick. I feel like she's going to win the Money in the Bank because she's the perfect person to have that because
She's
she's
such a heel.
sneaky. She's loud, obnoxious. I could see her coming out with Ellsworth to somehow get that title.
Yeah.
Maybe we get that on this pay per view. Maybe
When she cashes it in, she's successful.
yes,
She is.
yes.
Okay.
I could see her doing that night if they had this before the women's title.
You like
match.
your shit quick, man.
Yes,
you're not a 40-hour motherfucker. You like your shit
Well, maybe
like that.
maybe if it doesn't happen with the guys, like I'm thinking it probably won't happen. Maybe it happens with the women. Carmella gets out there fucking after the Naomi match. Maybe Lana attacks her after the match.
Are you like me? And then we're gonna have women holding it now, but like when someone has a Money in the Bank for like over 4 months, it's
Yeah,
just
it gets
annoying.
boring.
It's
yeah,
annoying.
It gets on my nerves.
And I don't like the moniker. They have to call him Mr. Money in the Bank. They can't just say their goddamn name. We see the briefcase in his hand. We have been reminded by Michael Cole and every announcer in fucking sight when that guy is on TV that he is Mr. Money in the Bank. Let's let JoJo say it.
Yeah.
So we can go completely fucking insane and never want to see that briefcase again until next July.
I'm going out there with my predictions, but I'm going Carmella. She is hey, if Samoa Joe can win that Fatal 5-Way, why can't Carmella win this?
I think both our predictions on this are out there, and I like it. Because I think the safe bets are Becky Lynch and Charlotte, obviously. You do have Tamina?
Yeah.
Nope.
I could see her winning it.
I can't.
To be honest with you.
I can't. She's gonna do the powers. She's gonna do the big person spots where like they have to hold. She's gonna have to.
I just
tie
think
into
Carmella
spots.
somehow is going to sneak her way up that ladder and get that Money in the Bank at the end. She is
with help of Ellsworth. Like
somehow,
she's on his
yes,
shoulders
yes.
while he goes up the ladder
I
like
don't know.
Rhino and Edge.
It could be something like that. She's just the sneakiest, underhanded women's character on that brand, so I could see her winning it.
Well, I wouldn't hate it. She's obviously not the best in ring or the mic, but it's something, I guess. It's something different. We always ask for that, so we want it to make sense.
Land of opportunity.
And we always want it to make sense. She does have the leg up because she has a manager.
Is there a tag title match at this pay-per-view?
There is. The Usos and the New Day, I believe.
Yeah, I that's what I was thinking.
Or Brazongo.
As well.
One of the two. So let's book it both ways. If it's the New Day, I gotta go Usos still. They just came back. They just had the titles longer than anyone. Usos are trying.
Yeah, but the New Day's been pushed so much on this brand.
I think
it'd be a waste for them not to have the belt.
I think that run, that record they broke, Hogan, established themselves enough to where now they can put over other teams. And I think that's why they're there to elevate, because this brand has the younger teams. You have Carl Anderson, Sheamus are the Hardys. You have the more mature, longer running teams. These are the younger up and coming teams. I think that's where they're at right now. And I think it's a good idea because they're definitely not as hot as they were. Let's be real. At their peak, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I don't want to see them with belts again. That does nothing for me at this point because they had their time for now. I think there's better teams like Brazongo now. When there's better teams, there's no reason that a team that already had it and isn't as good should get another shot. You always want your product to be better, I guess, and fresh.
I just feel like a babyface tag team with the belts right now has more possibilities down the road because there's heel tag teams on the brand, such as
the Ascension,
Colognes, guys like that.
Colognes.
That they could really, really enhance to make look more formidable as challengers.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to pick the New Day here. Maybe somehow, some way, whoever's on the outside there, probably Xavier Woods on the outside with his trumpet or trombone, whatever the fuck that is.
It's a trombone.
Yeah. Distracts them some way, somehow.
It's getting late, guys. Bear with us.
And that's why I'm going with the New Day. I'm going to go with the New Day. The first ever.
Both brands.
Both brand tag champs.
All right.
Because I could see that in their entrance. Your first ever. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn have a match. They should after all this build
No,
up.
they're in the Money in the Bank.
Oh, that's fuck me. Yeah, like I said, it's getting late.
That's it. That's all of it.
That's
unless
the entire.
unless they throw in some pre-show matches that we don't know. That's
There's
it.
Money in the Bank 2017.
Favorite part about Money in the Bank, not that many matches.
Yeah.
So they're going to get some time.
Well, those matches always get 40 minutes minimum. Who won the war this week? Michael, SmackDown or Raw? Better show. And what was the overall grade on SmackDown first, I should say?
SmackDown. Yeah. I don't want to be so fucking harsh, but
I gotta.
it's got to be a D for me.
I'm usually very nice, man.
It's got to be a D for me.
I'm going D plus. I'll give it a D plus. It's not good. A lot of the same old shit. A lot of head scratching booking decisions.
Yeah.
Not a good showcase of a lot of talent. And Lana, not ready.
It was bad.
She's just not ready.
It was bad. That whole segment was bad.
Yeah.
Between Natalia licking her lips like it's a fucking Logan Cole cut.
Be serious.
Tamina standing there like she has no idea what's going on as usual. Also, you had the Owens Nakamura match, which wasn't terrible, but it did nothing for me as far as booking.
Yeah.
There was no need for Owens to get beat here again. He's your United States champion. You've just made him look like crap the past 3 weeks. And the Styles Ziggler match, once again, another booking, like, who gives a shit? Like, I guess we're just putting guys that are in the match one-on-one together, and also the redo with Corbin and Zayn in the back. It's just getting overdone. Can we find something else? It's like the creative group for SmackDown is like, just do what we did the other week. Jinder Mahal, Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, exactly.
Shitfest. Randy Orton promo I didn't see, so I can't really comment on it.
But you can imagine it. You can imagine it word for word, probably. It's a Randy Orton promo.
Nothing good for me to really comment on this, so that's why I gave it a D.
Can't argue. D plus for me, all the same reasons. Just Jesus Christ, where do I begin with? Oh, I don't even want to get into it this late. I really can't recommend anything going out of your way to see on the show, and I don't say that a lot. Just nothing stood out. It was more of the same. That was the biggest problem of the show. More of the same. Show, by the way. Which brings me to, before we get out of here, Michael, next week it feels like we just did this, because we did, because their pay-per-views are 2 every fucking weeks now.
Who's coming on the show next week?
I know for a fact, Logie's.
No, not allowed. I'm
Post-show
using my
Logies.
one card.
You're not using your
I
one
get
card.
one a month.
Well,
I get one pay-per-view a month.
You can use it he'll be for SummerSlam then. Are you serious?
Why can't we just have Matt on?
We'll do this.
His voice makes me want to curl up and drink some tea.
Because I have to plan it ahead more with Matt. We'll have Logan on for Money in the Bank. SummerSlam, I was probably going to have some surprises, so I don't want to spoil it yet. I didn't know what was going on with Logan for SummerSlam. He was probably going to be on the TakeOver show at SummerSlam. Something up my sleeve for SummerSlam. Not saying anything yet. So, but Logan, when I give somebody my word and they can be on, hey, he'll be on this Sunday with the Post show. Matt probably as well. We got tons of pallies out there. Could get anybody. Tons of pallies.
Logan's just going to hurt the ratings.
You be serious.
I want people to listen to the show.
Michael, it's been another damn good episode. I love going live.
I feel like with Matt, you're taking out the fucking Gordon Soley and you're replacing him with Logan, who's the David Otunga. You know what I mean? Or the Byron Saxton. It's just, you're killing the